There is a reason some people remain calm when everything around them is falling apart. Someone insults them, they don't explode. Someone rejects them, they don't beg. A plan fails, they don't collapse. Someone tries to provoke them, and somehow nothing happens. They remain still. Not because they don't feel anything, not because they are emotionless, but because they have learned something. Most people never discover the world only has as much power over you as you allow it to have. And once you understand what is really happening inside your mind when you react, you can become extremely difficult to manipulate, provoke, or emotionally control. Most people don't realize how much of their emotional life is controlled by other people. Someone cuts them off in traffic, and suddenly a stranger has control over their mood. A coworker makes one disrespectful comment, and that person's words stay in their head for the entire day. Someone doesn't reply to their message, and they begin questioning their own worth. A person gives them a strange look, and they spend hours wondering what they did wrong. Think about how strange that is. You can be having a perfectly good day, and then someone you don't even know can say 5 words and completely change your emotional state. They didn't physically take anything from you. They didn't force you to feel anything, yet somehow they reached inside your mind and pulled a string. The question is, how did they get that power? The answer is uncomfortable. Most of the time, they didn't take it. You gave it to them. And this is where everything changes, because if you gave them that power, you can take it back. Think about the last time someone insulted you. Why did it hurt? Was it simply because they said something negative? Or did some part of you secretly wonder whether they were right? If someone calls you a failure and you feel an overwhelming need to prove them wrong, what exactly are you defending? Your reputation, your ego, your identity? And if someone ignores you and you immediately feel rejected, what are you really afraid of? That person leaving? Or the possibility that their rejection confirms something you already fear about yourself? This is the part most people never investigate. They focus on the person who triggered them, instead of examining the part of themselves that was triggered. Carl Jung's ideas about the unconscious mind become especially interesting here. We like to believe we understand why we behave the way we do, but much of what drives our reactions exists beneath conscious awareness. There are insecurities we haven't resolved, fears we don't admit, needs we don't want to acknowledge, and parts of ourselves we've pushed into the shadows. Then someone comes along and accidentally touches one of those hidden places, and suddenly we react with an intensity that seems completely disproportionate to what actually happened. That's why 2 people can experience the same event and respond in completely different ways. One person gets criticized and becomes obsessed with proving themselves. Another simply listens and decides whether the criticism has any truth in it. One person gets rejected and spends weeks questioning their value. Another accepts the rejection and moves forward. One person experiences failure and thinks, "My life is ruined." Another thinks, "Good, now I know what doesn't work." The event is the same, the meaning is different, and that distinction is the foundation of an unshakable mind. Most people believe their emotions are caused directly by the outside world. They say, "He made me angry," "She made me feel worthless," "They ruined my day." But nobody can directly reach into your mind and install an emotion. What happens is more complicated. Something occurs, your mind interprets it, and that interpretation creates an emotional response. The event may be outside your control. The meaning you give it is where your power begins. This doesn't mean you should pretend that painful things aren't painful. It doesn't mean you should tolerate disrespect, stay in toxic relationships, or allow people to mistreat you. Emotional strength isn't weakness. Detachment isn't passivity. Sometimes the strongest response is to walk away. Sometimes it's to set a boundary. Sometimes it's to confront the problem. The difference is that you are choosing your response instead of being dragged into one. Because there is a huge difference between responding and reacting. A reaction happens before you think. A response happens after you understand. And most people spend their entire lives reacting. They react to criticism. They react to rejection. They react to disrespect. They react to other people's moods. They react to success and failure. They react to what people think about them. And because their reactions are automatic, they rarely stop to ask the most important question. Why does this have so much power over me? That question can change your life. The next time someone provokes you, don't immediately focus on what they did. Watch yourself. Notice the anger rising. Notice the urge to defend yourself. Notice the desire to make them understand you. Notice the need to win. Then ask, what part of me is being threatened right now? Maybe it's your ego. Maybe it's your need for approval. Maybe it's an insecurity you've spent years hiding. Maybe you're afraid of being seen as weak. Maybe you have built your identity around being respected, successful, attractive, intelligent, or needed, and someone has just touched the part of that identity you are most afraid of losing. This is what shadow work really gives you. Not a way to eliminate your darker emotions, but a way to understand them. Every trigger becomes a clue. Every intense reaction becomes information. Every person who gets under your skin can reveal something you still haven't mastered within yourself. And once you start looking at your reactions this way, something almost disturbing happens. You realize that some of the people you thought were controlling you were actually exposing weaknesses you had never confronted. The person who constantly makes you jealous may be exposing your insecurity. The person whose approval you desperately chase may be exposing your dependence on validation. The criticism that destroys your confidence may be revealing how fragile your self-image really is. The rejection you can't let go of may be exposing how much of your worth you've placed in someone else's hands. And this is where the real power begins, not when you control them, but when you no longer need them to behave differently in order to feel stable. Most people spend their lives trying to control the external world because they are terrified of what happens when they can't. They want everyone to like them. They want relationships to go exactly according to plan. They want people to respect them. They want success to be guaranteed. They want life to be fair. And whenever reality refuses to cooperate, they suffer. But reality doesn't owe you cooperation. People don't owe you the behavior you want. Life doesn't owe you predictable outcomes. And the more your peace depends on things you cannot control, the more fragile your peace becomes. This is the illusion of external control. You think you're trying to control the world, but what you're really doing is allowing the world to control you. The moment you need someone to respect you, they have power over you. The moment you need someone to choose you, their decision controls your emotional state. The moment you need a situation to go a certain way, that situation owns your peace. The moment you need everyone to understand you, their misunderstanding becomes your problem. But what happens when you stop needing? What happens when you can walk away without needing the last word? What happens when someone dislikes you and you don't feel compelled to change their mind? What happens when someone rejects you and you can say, that's their choice, without turning it into a judgment about your worth? That's freedom. Not because nothing hurts anymore, but because pain no longer automatically controls your behavior. This is what makes certain people so difficult to manipulate. Manipulation depends on emotional access. If someone knows exactly what makes you angry, what makes you jealous, what makes you afraid, and what makes you desperate for approval, They know where your strings are. But when you understand your own weaknesses, those strings become harder to pull. Imagine someone trying to provoke you. They insult you because they want a reaction. They expect you to defend yourself. They expect anger. They expect you to lose control. But you simply look at them and think, interesting, why are you trying so hard to get a reaction from me? Suddenly the entire dynamic changes. They expected to control the moment. You became the observer, and the observer has an advantage the reactive person doesn't have. The observer can choose. This is why the strongest person in the room isn't necessarily the loudest. Sometimes it's the person who doesn't need to prove anything. They don't need to win every argument. They don't need everyone to understand them. They don't need to respond to every insult. They don't need to correct every misunderstanding. They don't need to chase people who walk away. They don't need to announce their strength. Because their sense of identity isn't sitting in someone else's hands. But becoming this person doesn't happen by simply telling yourself, I don't care. That's not detachment, that's suppression. Real detachment is being able to care without becoming controlled. You can love someone without making their behavior the foundation of your emotional stability. You can want success without believing failure makes you worthless. You can value someone's opinion without allowing it to define you. You can feel anger without surrendering your judgment to it. You can experience fear without letting fear make every decision. The goal isn't to stop feeling. The goal is to stop being owned by what you feel. And this is where your perception becomes everything. Two people can lose the same amount of money. One sees humiliation and failure. The other sees a painful lesson. Two people can go through the same breakup. One thinks, nobody will ever love me again. The other thinks, this relationship taught me what I will never accept again. Same event. Completely different internal reality. Your mind is constantly assigning meaning to what happens, and if you never examine those meanings, you will spend your life reacting to interpretations you didn't consciously choose. Jung described this idea through the unconscious. What remains unseen within you can continue influencing your life without your permission. You may think you're choosing your reactions when you're actually following patterns that were built years ago. That's why some people keep repeating the same emotional experiences. Different person, same insecurity, different relationship, same pattern, different situation, same reaction. They keep changing the outside world while carrying the same unresolved inner world everywhere they go. Until you change what's happening inside, the pattern follows you. This is why self-awareness is so powerful. The moment you can observe a reaction while it's happening, you create distance from it. You feel the anger, but you observe it. You feel the jealousy, but you observe it. You feel the insecurity, but you observe it. You feel the urge to send that angry message, but you pause. That pause is not weakness. That pause is power, because between the trigger and your reaction is a tiny space where you get to decide who you are going to be. At first, that space may only last 1 second, then 2, then 5. Eventually, you become someone who doesn't need to react immediately at all. And that's when people start noticing something different about you. They provoke you, but you remain calm. They criticize you, but you listen without collapsing. They reject you, but you don't chase. They become angry, but you don't automatically become angry with them. They try to manipulate your emotions, but they can't find the right button anymore. Not because you became cold, because you became conscious. Think about a storm. The wind can become violent, lightning can tear across the sky, rain can fall for hours, but the sky doesn't fight the storm, it doesn't panic, it doesn't try to control every cloud, it simply remains. You can become like that. Your emotions can move through you without becoming you. Your circumstances can change without destroying your identity. People can come and go without taking your entire sense of self with them. Failure can happen without becoming your identity. Rejection can happen without becoming your definition. Criticism can happen without becoming your truth. So the next time someone insults you, don't immediately ask, "How do I respond?" Ask, "Why did that hit me?" The next time someone ignores you, don't immediately ask, "What did I do wrong?" Ask, "Why does their attention determine how I feel about myself?" The next time you fail, don't ask, "Why am I a failure?" Ask, "What did this failure reveal that I need to learn?" And the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this: they may control the stimulus. They do not control the response. That part is still yours. The moment you understand that, you stop giving away pieces of your mind to everyone who knows how to trigger you. You stop being a puppet of circumstances. You stop needing the world to behave perfectly before you allow yourself to be at peace. And slowly, something changes. You become harder to manipulate, harder to intimidate, harder to provoke, harder to break. Not because you became stronger than everyone else, because you finally stopped fighting everyone else and started mastering yourself. That's the real power. Not controlling people, not controlling circumstances, not controlling the world, controlling the part of you that the world has been controlling all along. Your reaction, your perception, your mind, and once you master those three things, the world can still be chaotic without you becoming chaotic with it. People can misunderstand you. Plans can fail. Doors can close. People can leave. Insults can come. Uncertainty can remain. But you remain. Calm enough to think. Strong enough to choose. Aware enough not to be manipulated by every emotion that passes through you. That is what it means to become untouchable. Not that nothing can reach you, but that nothing gets to decide who you become. And when you stop letting the world pull your strings, you finally take back control of the one thing that was yours from the beginning, your mind.